welcome to That's So You. This I think is episode 9. Sorry, I've had to start this so many times because there keeps being interruptions. I got a little way through my introduction and Mr. Yu called me on Facebook Messenger. So hopefully now I can get through this with no more interruptions. So I am Diane. It's Thursday the 15th of June. It's just gone 12 o'clock. If you are a new viewer, thank you for checking out the podcast. I hope you like it. If you are a regular viewer, thank you for coming back. If you are a regular viewer, then you would know that the setting looks a bit different. Normally, I'm sitting here facing that way and the tablet is set up there. This morning I put the tablet on to charge and somebody, either a triplata or Little Miss, took it off the charger. So I'm having to charge whilst recording. Little Miss is asleep right now. She's on the sofa over there. So as she's sleeping, I thought I would prepare the food and record at the same time. There are meatballs in the oven, so at some point I am going to have to pause when they get ready. So this is a podcast mainly about knitting, but now and then there is some crochet. You can find me mainly on, I would say, Instagram as Mrs. Ewe Makes. I also have a Facebook page as well by the same name. I'm also on Ravelry as YummyTripletMummy as well. I have an Etsy store called Mrs. Ewe Make 2 where I sell my stitch markers and knitting and crochet patterns. Right, I think that is everything introduction wise. I was planning on doing an episode recording today, but the time of starting it is pretty much just rush. Little Miss fell asleep suddenly, and so I thought, let me just get on with it. So I don't have any actual notes, so excuse me if things seem a little bit hapdash. So we'll get started. I don't have any knitted finished objects. The finished objects that I do have, I will be showing you in the shop update section. So we will just go straight to what's on the needles. Okay, I think the first one I will show for on the needles is the what is this called now? A Hint of Summer sweater by Isabel Kramer. I can't remember where it was up to when I showed this last, but so far this is where I'm up to. So let me just hold it the way it's supposed to go. So this is the back, and I've done this is the back, and I've done the neck, the shoulder separation. So I'm now working on the right shoulder. So far it's going great. It's a nice straightforward pattern. I can't remember if it's a free pattern or not. I don't think it is. It's a free pattern, if I remember correctly. No, it's not. So as I said, it's by Isabel Kramer. It's a nice, summery, very light, sort of a t-shirt type sweater. So it's designed to be made using either cotton or lace, that kind of yarn. So yeah. So this is what I've done so far. I'm using Knit Picks Curio, which is a cotton thread. This colorway, I think it's cornmeal, and I think that's just silver or steel, something like that. And there goes my oven. I can leave it for a few seconds, it's fine. This is what I've done so far. This is sort of on hold for the moment whilst I work on 2 other main projects, which I will show you in a moment. But I am enjoying working on it. It's nice and simple and straightforward. There's a little bit of shaping there for the short row shaping there for the shoulders, and then the same will be done on the other side as well. So that's all I can really say about this so far, but it is a nice and simple and straightforward. Once I finish one of the others, I will put more of a dent on this one. I do want to make sure I actually finish it before the end of summer so that I can actually wear it and enjoy it. Next FO is a design project. So I won't show you the full thing, just part of it. It's a sock design. I had hoped to have had both of the socks finished by now, but I haven't had much chance to properly work on it. So yeah, so I can show you at the moment the heel and the toe. The main yarn I've used is Lana Grossa. I think it's a merino nylon blend. The colorway, I think, is just one of those ones where it's just a color, a number, that's the colorway. The heel and toe that I have here, I've used the minis that I received from the For the Love of Yarn Crochet Hook Club. That's a club where every month you get a, where each month there's a crochet hook that has a polymer clay designed handle, and then with each one of those you get a skein of yarn that's has a similar color to the crochet hook. So these are two of the ones I've received, and I've used them to do the heels, toe and the cuffs, but I won't show you the cuffs yet because that's part of the design element. So this would be part of my Fairly Odd Socks collection. For the other sock, I've done part of the heel, the cuffs. I can actually show you that. So that's part of the cuff. I haven't done a lot of work on this. That's all I've done so far. Yeah, I wanted to try and get a bit more of it done during the Knit in Public, which took place on Saturday, but I'll talk a bit more about that. But I wasn't able to do so much work on this. So hopefully this week I'll try and at least get to the leg of the sock. But yeah, that is that, and I put details about that yarn in the on the show notes, which can be found on the Ravelry group. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast, and that's also Mrs. Ewe Makes. Okay, that's those two. Okay, my last whip, which is being housed in my diva bag. Oh, and the socks are in this bag that I won as part of the Down Cellar Studios pigskin party. The bag is, I can't remember the name of the seller, but I'll put details there as well. Okay, so the final whip I have is another sweater. This one is designed by Judy Brian, I believe, or is it Brian? I'm not 100% sure. And it is texture tied. So this is what I have so far. I've been working on this bit by bit. So you can see the neckline. I finished the raglan shaping and I've separated the sleeves. So now I'm just on the main body. So that's what it's like so far. And what I plan to do, the original sweater has black yarn for the top half, like this one here, and then the rest of the body is more of a lighter grey, and then the sleeves from around here are well, this is more of a black charcoaly colour. From here downwards is a light grey, or just a normal grey, and from the sleeves are very, very light grey coloured. So what I've decided to do, I've just used mainly minis and scrap yarn or leftover yarn. So the top part I have is Lamington Lass soft sock in the Ichabod colorway, and this was yarn I used for a design project, Join the Crew. This is another leftover yarn. I can't remember what brand that was exactly at the moment. There's actually two different colors here, you can slightly see. These are mini skeins I got from an Etsy store called I think it's Frankenskein Yarns, if I'm correct. Yeah, so these were part of a rainbow minis pack, and so I'm going to use those. I'll just get the rest of the balls. I will be using those to work the rest of the body in a sort of rainbow color. Okay, so this is obviously not the order I'm going to make it in. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Oh, sorry, curtains covering the light. There, yeah. So I'll just be adding these to the bottom. I put a picture in, I think, in the last episode of how I'm going to lay those out. If you check out my Ravelry page, then you'll be able to see there. The main picture for this garment is the layout of the actual sweater. So far, everything is going well. It's nice, easy to follow. I'm having to work the L1 size, even though I should be working the M2 size because my gauge was a bit tight. But what I forgot to do was adjust the length accordingly. So because I've worked the L1 size, I've been working the length of the L1, which means that the section where the underarm stops is kind of comes to about here when it should be a bit up there. So I've maybe the underarm starts maybe 1 to 2, I'll say 1 to 1.5 inches lower than you would normally expect it to for my size. So I'm going to have to see once I start the sleeves how I can maybe fix that. But so far everything else in terms of fit is fine. I've been trying it on as I go along because I'm not 100% sure if the minis I have will actually be enough to work the whole body, even though in terms of yardage I've calculated that I do have enough, but maybe because of gauge it might be slightly out. But what I've decided to do, because for the sleeves I'm going to be using this, which is Eden Cottage Yarns Milburn, which the colorway for this is mustard. So I'm going to use these one skein for each sleeve, and then I'm using another leftover yarn that I have, which is the Yarn Yard Toddy in the speckled colorway or orange. I was never 100% sure. So if needed, I would then add this for the rest of the sleeve. So I've decided then to, as the next shade was going to be this, which is orange, I've decided instead to just start the sleeves, and once I've done the sleeves I can see whether or not I would need this to finish off the sleeve. If I do, whatever's left from this, I will then, I've got this and this, which is a sock that I started but it was coming out too small. Yeah, so I will work from one, and then once I finish the sleeve, whatever's left over, I will then add to the body and then continue with this, as this one's a little bit lighter. So I think it makes, I wasn't sure whether to have the lighter one first and then the darker one, or the darker and then the lighter one, because the next one after that will be yellow. I'm thinking probably start with the darker one and then go to the lighter orange and then go to the yellow. So whatever's left over from this, once I've done the sleeves, will then be added to it just to give it some extra length. If there's nothing left from it, then I will continue with as planned. And then I think, if I remember correctly, the last color I will use will be one of these two. I think maybe the purple. So then I will just have to pick up some purple yarn. Doesn't really matter if the shade matches too much, just because of the nature of the way I've laid out the color. So as long as it's some shade of purple, then I will just add that at the end. The only restriction I will have is that it will have to be a British yarn, because I'm entering this into the Brit Cal, which is being hosted by Amy of the Stranded podcast. And host the Cal basically involves using British yarn to make an item. So all of these are British yarns. So yeah, if I do need to add an extra purple yarn, it will have to be something from a British yarn dyer or British yarn company. So yeah, so other than just the armhole incidents, everything else is going well with this. I did make slight adjustments in terms of the decreases. I added an extra decrease here just to bring it in a little slightly, and from this point on I'll just be working straight, and then I'll just, once I do go back to work on the body, I'll just work straight, and again just keep trying it on till it gets to the length that I'm happy with. But from this point forward, there won't really be, in terms of the body, there won't be much shaping. It's just pretty much work straight for a bit, and then I'd start doing the increases for the hips. But even then, it's very, very big, straightforward. The pattern features this mock cable, which again is easy to follow. I'll say the only thing is, when you are working the raglan, you have to input the raglan increases with the actual mock cable. So you yourself have to decide how you're going to do that. There's three different types, there's three ways you can do the cable, so you have to decide which one you're going to do to help you incorporate the increases, which sometimes there are places where I'm a little bit out in the pattern because I've either forgotten to work the mock cable correctly, or because of where I've placed of how I've worked the increases alongside the cable instead. But now I am getting the hang of it, so it shouldn't be a problem anymore. I've worked out how it should look and where the best place is to actually have any increases or any other form of shaping. Okay, so they are all my whips. As I said, no knitted finished objects to show. So yeah, that's all I've really been working on. I did want to cast on something else, but because the Cal ends in June, at the end of June this month, I don't really want to add on an extra project and then end up rushing, because I've decided this year, when it comes to taking part in Cals, I'll only take part in a Cal whereby I have everything I need. I don't want to have to buy extra things just to be able to take part in the Cal, even though I said I might have to add extra yarn for that, but that won't really be too expensive to do that. But yeah, I don't want to have anything where I'm overly stretching myself or stressing myself out to be able to take part in a Cal. And yeah, so I'm going to aim to finish it at the end of June, but it's not where I'm going to be up late at night trying to get it finished. So I don't want to have an extra project just so I don't end up doing that. Yeah, but I do also want to try get this other sock done so I can then work on writing out the pattern and then work on the final sock in the collection. Yeah, so I'll put these things away. I'll check on my meatballs, or yeah, and then we'll move on to goodies. Okay, so the meatballs are fine. The oven wasn't set too high, so they are perfect. So on to the goodies. Now, I have 4 sets of goodies. One of them is a goodie that, excuse me. One of them is a goodie that I've had for a while and completely forgot to show you, or I either have shown you, so, or I have shown you and just forgotten that I have. So I will show it to you now because it's not in any of my notes. And I can't remember exactly when I got this to actually look back, and I can't be bothered to go through some of the previous episodes just to try and see whether or not this was featured. So this is the one I'll go with first, and it's a yarn company that I've always wanted to try. And I have tried them, but only in mini skein form, not in full skein. And it is Malabrigo. This colorway is a Violetta Africana. I got this on D-Stash, of course, the best way to get yarn, I think. And you can just see how awesome that purple is. It's not, I would say, as vibrant as this is, but it's but yeah, the purple isn't as vibrant as this. I think the lighting is doing this a whole lot of justice, but yeah, it is a great and amazing yarn. When I saw it available for D-Stash at the price I saw it for, I just could not resist. So as I said, I've only tried Malabrigo in a mini skein form, which I received as part of a yarn swap. So this would be my first full skein of Malabrigo. Last night I was on the same D-Stash page and I saw another skein of the same Malabrigo but in a different colorway, and I did have to really fight not to purchase it, only because I have another yarny related thing that I've committed myself to, and because of other commitments I'm not able to buy as much yarn as I would like. In fact, I haven't bought any yarn since I bought the Lana Grossa, which I'm using in the sock design. So yeah, this purchase that I've committed to, it will be the first yarn purchase I've made in a while. So this will be my only skein of Malabrigo for now. I'm not 100% sure what I will do with it. Most likely it could possibly go into a shawl, though I would like to be able to use it in a garment, but we will see. I'll probably pair it with maybe a black or a grey. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Just give you details quickly. 440 yards, 3.5 ounces, which I'm guessing is 100 grams. I don't know. Yeah, Malabrigo, Violetta Africana. Okay, so that's the first goodie. Okay, I'll do this one next. The next goodie is a prize. It's a prize I won a while ago, but I received this on Saturday, and I'll explain more about that in a second. It is Third Vault Yarns Echo DK in the Defense Against the Dark Heart colorway, which is I think it's a one-of-a-kind colorway. And just from looking online, I believe that is a Harry Potter reference. And this skein is lovely. Again, my kind of colorway, has some purples there, some blacks. The reds aren't really my colorway, but I think they go very, very nicely with this. The purples and blacks are enough on this for me. But yeah, I think this is amazing. And it's Echo DK, which is a base which Lola won't be doing anymore. I think there may still be some available in her store, but it's a base that won't be available for purchase very soon, or is, yeah. I think she's started using another DK base, as this one is no longer available for her to use. But yeah, I absolutely love Echo DK, and I will be sad to see it go. But yeah, this skein I think is lovely. I already know what I'm going to do with this. I am going to pair it with my next goodie. This and the one which will follow this were birthday gifts. Saturday, the 10th, was the Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and it was also my birthday. I attended the KIP in Granary Square, which I mentioned in previous episodes, and Lola came along to it. It was great to see her there, and she brought along this. This was the prize that I received for the Love of Short Rows Cal, which she hosted, and so I was one of the prize winners, and I was very happy to receive this because this was, I think, there was 3 yarn prizes available, and there was this and another skein which I would have been happy to get, but this was my number 1 choice in terms of prizes to get. So this is what she brought for me as a birthday gift. Again, Echo DK. I cannot get enough of Echo DK. And Echo DK is 100% superwash merino. There's 210 meters per 100 grams, and this colorway is called 10, which is a reference to the 10th Doctor, as in Doctor Who. And again, my colors, I absolutely love the blues and the purples, and there's hints of red there as well. So I'm going to put these two together and also pair them with the Araucania, I think. Oh, I probably butchered that, but yeah, that yarn brand that I have. I have 2 skeins of black yarn, again DK, and I'm going to pair those black yarns with this, and I'm going to, hopefully, this is my plan for the moment, I'm going to make Caramel Sweater by Isabel Kramer. I had initially planned to use the Bad Blood colorway of Echo DK and then find another skein of yarn to go with that, but once I saw these, one Lola gave me these, initially I was going to add this to it, but when I laid everything out and I saw these two were perfect to go with it, so I'll probably start, I'm not sure, I might start with this one and just work it in stripes along with the black, and then add this one once this one is done. We'll see. But yeah, I love those two together. I think they play very, very nicely with each other. So I cannot wait to get this started, but I won't start on it until I have finished Texture Tide and possibly a hint of summer. I don't want to have too many sweaters going on at one time, but I just need to double check I have enough yarn, but I should have enough because that's 4 skeins of DK, I think should be enough yarn for the sweater. Right, my final goodie is, as I said, another birthday present, and it's some soap. Valerie, the lady who organized the KIP, got to me some soap as a birthday party. She is originally from France, so this is some French soap that she picked up for me, which I thought was lovely. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so it was a great day. There wasn't a huge number of people who came. I think last year there were a few more people who kind of arrived and left throughout the day, but I think the main thing was because it wasn't put up on the, it was put up on the site, but it was placed under a different area. I think it was placed under Aberdeen, so it's only to within this a few days before, I think, but 3 days or so before the KIP, that it was placed in London. But everyone who arrived were those who came last year. So we didn't have, Lola was the only new person who came, but it was still nice. The weather was a lot nicer than last year. And I think with that meant there were more crowds. It was, when we arrived, well, at least when I arrived, it wasn't too crowded. But then as the day went on, more and more people came. And with that, I also had the Tripletters with me. I had Little Miss with me and one of the Tripletters friends. So I had 5 kids with me trying to do some knitting, which is why my sock pattern didn't see a lot of work done with it. I think I probably only worked from about there to there the whole day, because I had to keep getting up to round everyone up, constantly doing head counts. I even brought along some toys for them to play. Well, not some toys, a toy for them, like a ring throwing toy for them to play with, and some colouring books and things. Initially they did sit and play, but then because they kept getting up and moving around, the space that they had then got taken over by other people. I think they just wanted to run about a bit, running in and out of the crowds of people and stuff. Little Miss also trying to follow them, tried to escape a few times, had to keep bringing her back. All in all, I think they did enjoy the day. But yeah, when we finished, behind us, on Granary Square itself, there were small like fountains that shoot up from the ground. So they kind of had a bit of a run around in that. And once we got home, who was it? Well, Little Miss fell asleep on the way home, of course. And the boys, I think it was only Mr. it was Mr. Man who fell asleep once we got home. They didn't eat much there, but as soon as we got home, that's when suddenly everybody wanted to eat something. But yeah, next year I definitely won't be taking them. I have to, if Mr. Ewe is not available, because he was working that day. So if he's not available, then I'll have to see if my mum or one of my sisters can have them, because definitely next year I want to go on my own and I want to actually do some knitting. The year before I only took Little Miss with me and I was able to do some knitting, and she was 1 then, so she wasn't moving around as much. This time she was going everywhere, or at least she attempted to go everywhere, climbing up the steps, looking to see if anyone could see her, that kind of thing. But yeah, it was a great time. It was nice to see everybody again. We did the prize draw for the stuff that Rowan sent us, and also I added a couple of stitch markers in there as well. And I'll put pictures either here or maybe at the end of the podcast of everyone with their prizes. And I also handed out a stitch marker to everybody who came along, and I have some left over, well, quite a bit left over, so I've decided to put those into the shop. So I might as well show you them now. Super malt, not beer. Yeah, so where shall I start? Okay, so these are, honestly, I cannot remember what this is. I'll have to check my computer. I used to have like a database of all the beads and stones and stuff I had. I can't fully remember what this is, but I'll try and find out and then put the details in. I just got some of the glare. So there are 4 stitch markers there on that one. But it has a sort of cat's eye effect on that. Then there is this, again, a set of 4 stitch markers. And these, I believe, are lime jade. I don't know how well that's showing. The screen has some glare on it, so I can't properly see how well that's showing up. But yeah, that's lime jade. So there's 2 sets of 4 stitch markers, and the rest I'm going to do as just individuals. So we have these ones. I think I have 2 of these left. It's a stitch marker with, come on, go the right way, with a crown and a Swarovski crystal. So I have 2 of these left over from Saturday. And there is this, which is a spoon with a Swarovski crystal on it. And I think I have 3 of these left, 3 or 4 of these left. And these are, I have to double check, but these are nuggets. I can't exactly remember which one these are. They're not agates, no. I have to check. And I think again I have about 3 or 4 of these left. So what I will do with these ones, they will just be sold as individuals, mix and match. So you can just pick which ones and how many you want. I have more spoons, and I think, well, I have more of each of these. I'm not sure how many crowns I have. So I might make a few more just to increase the numbers. It's just I have to check how many of the Swarovskis I have, because I'm going through my old jewelry making stash. So I'm trying to work through that before buying. Okay, yeah, it cut off. I'm not sure where it cut off, but yeah, I'm going through my old jewelry making stash, and I'm not sure exactly how much of each of these Swarovskis I have. So once I've worked through most of those, then I'll start buying some more stuff. So if I have enough, I'll make a few more of these. I know I have enough of the nuggets, but the crown and the spoon, if I have enough of the crystals or any other stone or anything that will go with it, then I will make more of those and add those to the shop as well. Okay, so we've done finished object. Well, there weren't any finished objects. We've done whips, goodies. What's next? Waiting in the wings. I've kind of spoken about that. That's just the caramel sweater that I will use these for, and also there's just the 4th design sock. So that's all that's really waiting in the wings, I would say. So I guess it's just what's on Valerie. Right, Valerie is out on the corridor. Haven't even decided what she's going to have on her. Let me clear all this away, get Valerie ready, and I will be back with you. Okay, what's on Valerie? This is a pennant. It's a shawl designed by, I believe it was Laura Ayla or Isla. This was my March-April shawl, which I made last year, 2016. The yarn I use for it is Baramu Titus. The colorways were Lotherton. I always forget these ones, but I will let you know what they are. I'll write it on the screen. Yeah, it's, you can see, very uniquely shaped shawl. You have this long pointy section that goes into these holes that you make like this. Yeah, where the original one, I think, has just one color, and then I think a different color here. But I used Baramu's Titus mini skeins for this section and this one. The full skein for the main color here, and then 2 more mini skeins for this bit here and here. It's not one that I've worn often, just because the weather's not always been right for me to wear it, and also because I haven't actually blocked it yet. It hasn't come out fully, so I do have to block this properly just to get the full shape of it, because when I wear it, it doesn't always sit on my shoulder well, but that should improve once I have blocked it. I'll just pull this out and then show you in full what it looks like. So this is the full shape. So you have this sort of like, I'll say, an elongated pizza slice. That's what it's like. And you work, obviously do shaping on each side, and there's also an I-cord edging as well, so that keeps the edges nice and crisp. This is an extremely easy, simple pattern to work through. I can't remember if it's free or paid for, but if it is paid for, it wasn't very expensive. Yeah, so I do actually love the way this came out. If I were to use it again, I probably wouldn't use such woolly yarn. I probably would use I would say what my workhorse is, which would be a merino, just to get a bit more of that softness. Though this it's not too bad, but it is a very, very woolly yarn. I think it has a mix of, I'm not sure, I think it has a mix of Wensleydale and some other stuff, possibly alpaca. I'm not 100% sure, but it is very, very quite woolly. Yeah, so that is what is on Valerie. I would say if you want a shawl that has a really nice unique shape to it, yeah, this is a great one to go for. And if you, depending on the yarn you use, it could even be something that you wear in the spring as well. The shaping, I think, is really nice and unique, just having that kind of over the shoulder drape. Just pretend that's going through there, over the shoulder draped kind of look to it. So yeah, that's what's on Valerie. Pennant by Laura Ayla. As I was just getting some things in order, I just remembered there was other stuff I wanted to talk about. As you can see from the heading, June is probably one of the busiest months, I'll say, in our family. At the beginning of the month, it was mine and Mr. Yu's 10th anniversary. Woohoo! Yeah, so we just went out for a meal for that. It was the first time we've ever been out for a meal since the boys were born. So that's like 6 years. Yeah, it was really nice. Just having that free time, not having the constant chattering and questions and things like that going on around you. So yeah, they stayed with my sister for the weekend. It was the first time that she had all of them with her. Or she only had the boys there for the whole weekend. Little Miss just stayed for the evening. Then we picked her up on our way home. And I think my sister was very, very relieved to have them go home afterwards. It was just a bit nice to have that quietness and to have somebody else have the sort of children surrounding them for once. And then, as I said, the 10th was my birthday, and also the Knit in Public as well. Yeah, so it's one of those months in my family where there's always something happening. This weekend it's my sister's birthday, then after a few days after that it's my other sister's birthday, then at the end of the month. Okay, so yeah, my time for recording is running out. I need to delete some stuff on the tablet, so I will just use the time remaining just to say thank you for joining me. I think I've gone over everything that I really wanted to say. Hopefully next time when I record again, which should be in a couple of weeks, there will be at least one finished object. So yeah, have a great time. Enjoy. If you are here in the UK, it's summertime. Yeah, so enjoy the weather whilst it lasts, and I hope to be back with you soon. You can find the show notes on the Ravelry group. As I said, it's Mrs. Yu Makes, and you can find me on most social media either as Mrs. Yu Makes or as YummyTripletMummy. So have a great day. Bye.